few scenarios, right? I'm going to discuss few scenarios. So first of all, I would like to speak about one lady, okay, who booked erotic photo shoot many times, okay, many times. And this is something that you would like because this is very popular with couples, okay? Couples would like to book bull, hot and sexy male for erotic fantasy adventures, okay? And and let me just discuss this, okay? Because you see, what happens is that women, when they grow up in a certain environment, in a certain family, right, very often become a very good girl, okay, and trying to be a very good mom, maybe a very good housewife, maybe, to cook, to clean, and so on, right? And very often men do not appreciate. Okay, do not appreciate. So the woman, when she is as a good girl, she's vibrating in a child's vibration, right? Child's energy. And men usually make those ladies a victims. Okay, victimize them. Do not appreciate, maybe with the word, maybe with the action, maybe, with the energy, so on, right? So what happened is that this good girl arrived to my studio, right? And she had a fantasy. She had a fantasy. She never had anything like that before. It was her first ever erotic photo shoot. Okay, and what I did is I booked her a male model to shoot. Okay, a male model. Why a woman would want to shoot with the male model when she has a husband? Okay, to explore her feminine energy. Okay, to understand what is going on and what kind of a woman she is, right, within herself. And after the first photo shoot, what happened is that she actually had an energy to do a certain action and she loved her husband. Okay. And that's not the case. Okay. The reason why I'm talking, I don't want to scare any couples here. Okay. Because usually erotic fantasies, they connect people. Okay, most of the time, couple become stronger. They go to another level. They find a different dimension. Okay, the intimacy gets hotter and better. Okay, the communication and understanding. Okay, connection goes better, right? But sometimes happen that the couple will split up. Okay, and I have few cases like that. All right, when I know. Okay, and so this woman, you see, growing up, right? Some ladies just stay at home, very good, very good woman, and then stay at home moms, right? And then when they mature, come to 50s or 60s, they realize that they haven't done any exploration for themselves intimately, yeah, sexually, right? And so that's why they would like to book an erotic photo shoot and understand what is happening, okay, within them, right? And so I'm talking about this lady who booked 3 times at least, okay, erotic photo shoot with the male model, and every time that she would have erotic photo shoot, she would get more and more confident, more and more braver, okay, stronger as a woman. I'm not talking about muscles here, right? I'm talking about choices, about presentation. I'm talking about being with the other man, right? Maybe the good girl becomes a little bit a bitch, I would say. Okay, that's the transformation they're looking for. So I had this Brazilian guy model, okay, and she wanted to book another photo shoot, okay, and of course the man she is with now, very nice person, usually is like that, okay. You see, women vibrate in a feminine or a masculine vibration, right? And it could be both, right? When it's overtaking and overpowering, we see it visually because next to her there is a very weak man. Okay. So that's when you know that the woman is stronger with her energy. Okay. So when people are going for erotic adventures, right? They're exploring role play scenarios. Okay. And they're choosing a very masculine and very strong man to defeat them during the photo shoot. Okay. So they can surrender. Okay. And they can submit, basically. right? So that's the goal. So every time when, when you have an erotic photo shoot, you develop because you see yourself, how you react in a certain way with a stranger, in a certain reaction, how you can control yourself, what's happening during the photo shoot. And of course, erotic photography, when I create erotic photography, I create unlimited session. Okay, it means that there is no restriction and there is no limitations to what we do. Okay, as long as my client is happy and aware, right? That's the thing. Okay, if someone doesn't want to do anything, there is no how to say that. No one will force you, right? You can change your mind anytime. Okay, you can change. Never happened to me. Okay, never happened to me because the models are professional. They're really hot male, yeah, masculine, handsome, sexy, very good with the ladies, right? So it never happened to me that something will change in the scenario. Although now, when I remember, it actually did, but it was trans. Okay, there were two men. The man who changed into the lady, right? And he was exploring his feminine side, right? So once actually it did happen that we book a full-on shoot, okay, and it didn't go to the very, very end, but it went very close, okay? So, like I say, the appetite is growing during a photo shoot. Okay, and when you see a hot and sexy male, and then you start shooting with him, when you come closer, and like I say, you're getting turned on by the whole situation and by the fantasy, right? And we change the scenarios, and we do the role play testing shoots, right? We shoot on the camera and on the film. So talking about this lady, right? You see, women very often think that they are giving, they're giving, okay? And the majority thinks like that, okay? And I just had this conversation with this lady because she was after this male. I showed her this Brazilian guy, okay? And usually when people booking erotic photo shoot with models, it's a cuckold fantasy shoot, they're asking for a big or a huge size. You understand what they're after. Not only masculine macho men, brutal, right? But they really looking forward to have a other, you know, features features developed extremely, right? So they go for extreme. Okay, they do. They want that. They want that, right? So most of the time, if I'm looking a cohort fantasy shoot, I'm looking for a huge or a big size. Okay. So what I'm talking to this lady about this way, she's like, oh, how is this guy? And is he nice? Is he this and that? And I'm saying, you are coming back to me again and again about this male, okay? And I've explained to her that men are very gifted, okay? They can reach the climax regardless, the situation, okay? They can easily go into the orgasm. And the woman, you see, to go into the height and to the depth, she has to put on the work. Okay, and not only she has to put the work, she has to find a man who would help her. Okay, she can't do it by herself, right? So that's the whole thing is about sexual exploration. Okay, when I'm shooting erotic fantasy shoot, and she is like, and I'm explaining to her, I'm saying, you are thinking that this guy will take something from you, right? But in the reality, it is the way vice versa. This is you who are seeking extra energy. You need something to take from the man to actually put into the action or develop yourself or start a new chapter. You need an energy. Okay, and most of the time adults get energy from the sexuality, sexual energy we use, okay, to create something, right? Sexual energy is a creative energy. That's how we were created, right? Human came to this planet through only one energy. It's a sexual energy. And when you want to create something in life, right, you need a sexual energy boost. Okay, you want to change, for example, right? And you're an adult, okay? You will seek for the energy, because if you do not have an energy, you are not able to move forward. You are not able to do anything. You're not able to take an action, which is important, right? So I said to her that this is you who are the predator, not that model. You are looking for male, for a specific male, so that it would put you forward with this, right? And I'm very open with my clients. You see, I am not that person who wants them to book my shoot. No, I want them to understand why they're doing it, okay? So there is always a reason behind it, okay? Always a reason behind it. And erotic photo shoots are quite pricey to book. If you go to a boudoir studio, right? A boudoir studio. It's always a limited session. Most of the studios do not provide erotic photo shoot to the very end. That you can have an explicit shots, that you can have nudity in an intimate and sexual way, right? I will be talking. Let me just finish this. Uh, Topic, right? Because then I will just lead the messages and I forget, right? And I will be saying hi in a moment. Okay, so what I'm saying is that cuckold fantasy should stimulate a woman. Okay, it is very beneficial for couple, especially when the couple consists of the strong woman and a weak man. Okay, there is different ways, right? And there is another situation when men would like to book an erotic photo shoot, okay, a cuckold fantasy shoot for their woman, right? But the woman doesn't know about it. Okay, very often situation. Okay, when the men approach me and will start asking and start trying to book an erotic photo shoot, and then I ask, does your wife knows? Does your wife knows what you're trying here to do? And he says, no, I haven't spoken to her yet. Okay, so most of the time I advise, okay, if you would like to create erotic fantasy and book and hire a hot and sexy male model, you should talk to your girlfriend first. Okay, not to me, but to your wife, to your girlfriend, to your partner. Okay, because they will be shooting. Okay, you will be watching, but they will be shooting, right? So that's the thing. So let me just quickly say hi, hello to everyone, right? It's nice seeing you, it's nice having you here, and I'm very quickly jumped on a video call, and I was going to talk about 3 different situations today. What can I do for you today? What can you do for me today? Just stay. Just stay. You know what I like? I like when people are asking questions, okay? When they are being open and brave, you know? Like really brave questions about erotic photo shoot, about erotic fantasies, about couples shooting hot and sexy movies, about shy people undressing in front of the camera and creating boudoir photography, right? So I do different kind of scenarios with individuals and with couples, and today I'm discussing a cuckold fantasy shoot, okay? And the specific situation is that there are people who coming back, okay, coming back to create more and more fantasies, okay, and they want more and more men in their life. Okay, so that's today's topic, okay, cuckold fantasy shoot and hiring a male bull model, right? And now I am going to quickly jump on here and I say hi. And what can I do today? I just answered. Do you ever start having sex during the photo shoot? Okay, such a popular question. Okay, let me tell you what the erotic photo shoot consists so you would understand. First of all, it's a one only chance. Okay, there will be no second shoot, a third shoot that I can fix it, that I can redo it, right? Then I have a very nervous lady, okay, most of the time, because ladies are very, very nervous when they're shooting with the stranger, especially it's intimate and sexual scenes, okay? So there is a tension and nerves going on, okay, in the studio. Very often the husband is participating as well, so he is nervous as well. I am talking about the atmosphere just now, okay? So that you put in your head a little bit because you're out of space, right? So here we go. There are three people in the studio. The Julia, he knows that they are nervous about certain things. The husband very often jealous, okay. And there is a model who has nothing to do with this, and but he just paid well, okay, to create erotic scenarios. I have to make him do all the points that we discussed during the shooting plan. Yes, okay, I have to make him do all the fantasies and move the way and calm the lady down, and then the husband should be happy, okay. And then Julie making a million variations for them in and shooting with the Canon and with the Sony at the same time, okay. I'm not saying like this, but changing the cameras quickly, changing the lightings quickly, changing the backgrounds quickly, changing the lady, helping for lady to change the outfits, okay. Then she constantly changing the settings on the camera, okay. And then how to say, I am so busy, I don't have even time to think about it because I'm creating, okay. So it never occurred to me because I'm in a professional mode, right? In a professional mode. I came from the background, I studied medicine for 7 years and I worked in a hospital. So naked people, nudity, it's very natural to me, okay? And how to say, I am in adult business more than 20 years now. Okay. So I am so much tuned and get used to all of these things that I don't really care. I am just focused on art. Okay. That I am creating something very special, and then people are escalating their energy and they are relaxed and they are open to the point that I'm able to shoot it, and I'm able to shoot something very special, very unique. Okay, erotic photography, it's actually not about the background lighting and settings, okay? It's about how the photographer makes these people feel, okay, in the field, right? And only then they can open up and open their legs and do all the kind of the things, okay? Let me just put the light somewhere. Okay, so you see? Okay, do you see? I am just waving, right? We can have so many lighting variations. I like this one maybe. Okay, so the light is dark and I'm shooting now on the natural light, and clearly, the camera is picking up the noise, okay? When you see the particles here and there is not enough light, we call it noise, okay? So noise is coming up, right? So to being absolutely professional, right? You would not go into any kind of adventures like that, right? You would not join. Women do not create a business, photography business, to shag a lot of people, right? That's not the point. But I understand when the men are thinking this way because they have a different brain. No, literally. The size slightly bigger, right? But the neurons are working in a totally different way. So women would never come up with this, to create erotic photography studio so that she can, sleep with everyone. But men created adult business for that reason. Okay, we know that, right? And we know that there are a lot of photographers get advantage of the models and so on. We know that, right? And they all men. Do you know any woman photographer? Do you know any woman photographer? And in general, do you know? Let me just say this. I don't want to disturb here very much anyone. But when you're walking in the dark alley and you see a bunch of ladies, are you shitting yourself? when you're walking. Only woman is scared when she see a bunch of the men, two men in the darkness. She is scared because you're causing a threat, right? Woman don't take she's not dangerous unless you piss her off, right? She will not go around and how to say, make any crimes. I mean, it's not that absolute, right, what I'm saying, but you understand, where I'm coming from. So women are slightly different, right? They go into this business to make art and have a difference, right? I am creating sexual energy in my studio for you to see the difference and feel it, right? Because we have a lot of adult content which are providing a totally different information for people, right? There is no real energy in there, okay? People are shooting adult content for two reasons: to be famous and to make money, okay? In my studio, okay, couples are coming to create a erotic photo shoot because they want to explore, okay, because they want a novelty in their life, because they want to risk, they want to be together, they want to go into certain adventure together, which is, of course, intimate adventures, sexual adventures, right? So I'm holding now my light in the way I like it, okay, and I'm operating with my one hand, okay, and that's the studio. And that's the studio situation. Sometimes it happens like this. I like this like that. So no, I never approached any client with any my sexual needs. Never, I switched off during the photo shoot and I put on my creative lens. Yeah. Okay. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. She did what? Yes. So at my studio, okay, couples can book an erotic photo shoot, fantasy photo shoot with a models. And there is a very popular service, a Cuckold fantasy shoot with a male model, right? So there is one lady, okay, and I'm saying, okay, that how to say, sometimes a woman is a predator, okay, and she needs a masculine, strong man to take his energy and recharge her energy. Okay, that's why they're doing it. Okay, not only for fun, excuse me. You think intimacy is what? It's only fun? No, no, no. We are exchanging alter egos, okay? We are exploring, and we are matching alter egos. This is a totally different game here, right? It's not only for physical adventure, okay? So what happens when they create erotic photo shoot as such, right? They become very feminine. They become bitchy, maybe. They become very confident, okay? So I'm saying it transform as a scared, a shy, a good girl into a real woman. This type of, actions that the woman take. Yeah. And then they like it. Okay. And then they want to transform themselves more and more. And I'm telling today about the story when the lady already had 3 photo shoots and looking to book the 4th one. And it looks like obsession now. Okay. But it's not, because she has to grow as a woman. Okay. And it is not the model that will take her energy or do anything. I explained to her that this is you who are looking for a certain male, okay, to make a change for you. You are willing to do something and you are lacking of energy. So you are looking for an opportunity, and she find one male, okay, which I showed her, very hot and sexy. Brazilian guy. And she's keep coming back and keep coming back about him. Again, I'm very honest with my clients. Okay, let me just quickly say hi. I'm gonna say just I'm gonna tell just one story. Thank you so much for your gifts and stuff. Okay. Why would anyone listen to your advice? I'm not giving here an advice. Okay. I am talking about erotic photo shoots, which I create at my studio. Okay. So, people who are giving an advice, they're wasting their energy as well. Okay, they're wasting their energy. The only person who can give you advice is the one which is higher as a hierarchy is your mom or your dad. Okay, right. I'm gonna switch that off. I can tell you about that person who just called, okay, because you could hear. Just a second, let me just finish this. Okay, so no advices. Where are you from? I am from Lithuania. Okay, I'm from Lithuania. I learned to speak English so that I can tell you all about my hobby that become my business. Okay, where are you? I want you. Okay, okay. Beautiful eyes and lips. Thank you so much. I'm playing with the light. So what that is, do you understand what I'm doing here? I'm holding the light with one hand. Are you single? I am a widow. Let me just quickly, I love your accent. Thank you. Interesting. Yes, it is very interesting. It is so interesting, because adults, they practice everything. Okay, they go to the gym, they do the cooking, they how to say, they learn everything about everything, but they avoid one thing is the sexuality. And that is also understanding and a practice. Okay, and it's related to your intellect. If you are relaxed about this, right? If you are easy to accept. For example, people who are shooting erotic photo shoot, okay, and they are looking forward to this, and they are not nervous, and they are not shy, and they are not awkward, and they're not scared. They, during that photo shoot, they are excited and enjoying. They do not have a traumatic experience, okay, in the back, in the childhood, and so on. And there are people who are terrified of this. Okay, they're terrified of the for doing erotic photo shoot. They're terrified and they scared and they shy and they awkward. They feel guilty doing those things, ashamed. Okay, they have a traumatic experience. Okay, you understand? These are two different types, and these people live a different life as well, okay? In terms of an intimate life, right? In terms of the relationships, in terms of the connection, okay? Because the adults, you see, they came to this world not to make money, and to create a beautiful, loving relationship, okay? And be happy, right? Not by themselves, right? Right? So that's what I'm talking. I would like everyone wake up to love. That's what I want, okay? You ever write a book? I had this feeling for a really, really long time that one day I will, okay? So I have that feeling, okay? I do not dismiss it, right? Okay, so let me just quickly finish this. Oh my God, my name is. I'm very private. People sometimes want me to tell their name or who they are, but I'm very private. When people come into erotic photo shoot, I do not ask them who they are or what is their job, or like I'm trying to be very private. Okay, very recently, I start asking for IDs if I am a little bit concerned, and I have a feeling. I have a feeling sometimes that I need to check the identity before booking a certain erotic photo shoot because it involves nudity, right? I am adult master. Okay, okay. Do you know Carl Jung? Carl Jung, okay. I would do that either. I wouldn't do that either. My future trophy wife. Okay. I love you. Okay. One hand. Yes, yes. Another hand is holding the light. It's all one hand. Okay. I am a novelist. Okay. Okay. Do you like shooting couples or strangers? All people are strangers. I do not know them. Okay. So individuals or couples, they are people who I never met before and I don't know. They're just booking erotic photo shoot. And that is why it's so exciting. Because I don't know what kind of And the personality and energy will come, what they would like. Everyone is different. We create totally different erotic photo shoots, okay, for everyone. And and I would like, how to say, work with mature people, you know? That's my topic probably, because I am easily connected with someone my age, you know? Okay, last message is, are there any directors or photographers who work you admire or draw inspiration? Are any directors or photographers whose work you admire or draw an inspiration from? Okay, that's a very good question. The answer is no. It's not because I can tell you, well, I studied photography here in London, okay, right? And I've graduated, and we studied a lot of photographers, directors, okay, and I cannot tell that, how to say, I'd love their work, right? I can't, deny that, right? But what I'm saying is that looking into someone's work, it means that deeply, or, when you study, you have to look at someone else's work, right? That's the whole study is about others, right? Not about yourself, okay? But what it is that your brain, okay, it can overtake this information and then can present it as yours. And I'm very careful about that. Okay, I had one photographer myself who was a young person, and I really admired. Okay, I really admired, and he was from my country. Okay, I really admired him. I met him, and we had a great time and stuff. And then he showed me people who he admired, and he copied them completely. you know and that's then the moment I was disappointed, okay, because the true artists, you see, there are a lot of great painters who will copy, Mona Lisa or whatever great painting, but they are not able to create such art by themselves. They lack intuition and imagination. Okay, so I never attached to any kind of a photographer. Okay, but I had few, okay, who I really, how to say, how to say, it's not respect, there are photographers that I respect, and these photographers are three ladies, okay, one in Australia, one in America. I respect them, okay, for what they're doing. And so the reason why I didn't look at anyone else, because I just wanted to do everything by myself from scratch. Okay, that's the true art for me. When you fail, okay, not when you copy someone, not when you recreate someone. I have been asked million times, okay, to recreate someone else's work. And it's not that I cannot do it. Okay, let me just put the light. Okay, let's do it like that. I'm gonna be just putting light on you now because my hand is tired. Okay, so I have to finish this live because I did not set up the lighting and it got dark. Okay, and I just have one light here. But there was this phone call. Okay, there was this phone call, and this young man, there are people who are pursuing and keep trying to book a photo shoot, okay? There are people like that, okay? And this particular guy who just rang on this live tried many, many times. A very young guy who, when we talk about genders, there are some people who are confused about their gender, okay? And they don't know if they're men or if they're a woman, okay? And their energy is also confused, okay? And I'm not saying that I do not shoot, okay? I shoot gay people, I shoot trans people, but there are young, really people who are absolutely confused, okay? What to do with their life and who they are, okay? And that is all about the energy. Okay, and when they're young, okay, it is very uh, influential. You can make an influence on a certain, I prefer to work with mature people. I like this actually light like that. Okay, so Do you see what I'm doing in my studio? Even now, okay, I am playing with the light. And every time when I move the light, it gives you a totally different picture, right? That's what I do in the studio. There are photographers who will set it up and then they shoot it, okay, not to waste their time. And when you're adjusting the light, you create a lot of error. You create so many mistakes. But in those mistakes, there is a real art coming out because you will shoot something what no one will shoot it. No one will do it this way. You see, and when I am creating, I don't look at the lighting settings. I don't look at the camera settings. I'm telling you, I am doing it with intuition, and I create amazing, amazing artwork. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me today. Right? Thank you so much. 24 messages. I'm not able to answer that. I am what I do after life. I check them. Okay, I check them, and if there are very interesting questions, I am coming back and I am just making a live about it, right? So, do you do photos of yourself? I start erotic photography from taking pictures of myself. Yes. There is not many people who are willing to undress. And then I start shooting models because models need adult work. Okay, so then I start shooting models and everything escalated. Okay, so I always, how to say, encourage people, if you do not have money for erotic photography, just, just start with with yourself. We have phones. Okay, we are equipped. We can create and feel what it is erotic photography. And if someone needs a lead, of course, I will be making a course. I am mentioning this, right? That I will be making a course. And who is here? I would like to invite you to my adult galleries. People are inquiring when I'm opening, when I'm opening, when I'm opening. I will open when I'm ready. Okay, when I'm ready, I will open. It's loaded. It's still, there are categories that have not been filled. Okay, so I need to work on that. But I'm inviting you. Join my sex art galleries and just get more educated about adult art. Yeah, direction is not so direct if you don't know who you are. That's a perfect point because erotic photo shoot make you understand who you are. Okay, erotic photo should help you to take and peel all these layers, okay, of insecurity, of shyness, of awkwardness, of just, worry and, having doubts about certain things, not able to go forward and feel yourself. You see, when you're wearing masks, right? People are shooting very easily because they have a mask on. Okay, so when you know who you are, of course, you're taking that right path. Okay, that's the only thing what I can say, right? If you have pain in your legs, you're not going to the right direction. If you have pain in your arms, then you're not doing right things. I mean, we can say this way, right? I like your energy. You came across my F FYP, what that is. You are the whole aesthetic. Thank you. Wow. Wow, mommy, thank you. Mommy. My oldest son is 29, okay? Mommy. Okay, right. Okay. Let me just quickly finish what I see. Do you make photos of yourself? I've already answered to that. Hello. Can we see the outfit? No, you can't. I'd love to see photos of you. I date you, an older woman with your beauty. Okay, fine looking woman. Thank you so much. Okay, do you shoot again? Yes, I do. Okay, hi. Okay, thank you so much. Today I had a, oh my gosh, this is very dark in some places. So today I had an erotic, today I spoke about erotic photo shoot, and the topic was Cuckold fantasy shoot with a male model, okay, for couples. Where do I find them? Okay, where do you find there are previous posts which will have a link to my Telegram. Come and join my Telegram. This is a public channel. Okay, come and join my Telegram. Okay, and there will be information there. And of course, you can communicate there and ask questions. Thank you so much for now. Maybe I'll come live tomorrow. Okay, but for now, I need to go. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, so let me just say hi here. Bye. And bye bye here. Have a good